current Hamas-Israeli conflict is a generation-defining moment for the Middle East in at least two ways. The first way is that it has brought back the Palestinian issue at center stage within the broad landscape of Arab politics. So the Palestinian issue had been on the back burner for many throughout the region. There were a number of agreements that were signed with Israel, the Abraham Accords between the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, Sudan, normalizing and instating diplomatic relations with Israel without there really being a link to the Palestinian issue. However, I think the current war has completely disrupted that momentum and has reinforced the point that it is very difficult to proceed with broad regional integration initiatives without truly addressing the question of Palestinian statehood and resolving that issue in a fair and equitable manner once and for all. I think the second way in which this is a generation-defining moment is insofar as it relates to Arab civil societies. And so the war and the atrocities and the immense suffering that is being inflicted on the ground in Gaza has mobilized sympathy and solidarity among Arab civil societies, which of course places a tremendous amount of pressure on Arab governments and even governments of Muslim majority countries to take a stronger position on this issue. So when deciding on their positions towards the current conflict, the Gulf states have to take into account three main factors. First is their domestic public opinions, which are most certainly entirely in favor of the Palestinian cause. And so that plays a very important role. And no Arab government, the GCC or the Gulf states included, can afford to ignore public opinion on this issue. The second factor that they have to take into account is their regional rivals. And so Iran and the so-called axis of resistance that Iran leads will be exploiting any signs of weakness in their position to reinforce the narrative that it is the axis of resistance that is truly looking after the Palestinian cause. And so this is something that the Arab Gulf states will have to take into account. And the third factor is their partners. And so their Arab partners, Egypt and Jordan, whose national security is intricately and intimately tied to what happens in Palestine and Gaza and the West Bank, and their Western partners as well, who have taken for the most part, a pro-Israeli position on this issue. So it's a complex set of factors that they have to take into account. I think the Arab publics have played a very important role in creating a sense of unity among the Arab states. Almost all of the Arab states now agree on the need for an immediate ceasefire. And we've seen those positions crystallize at the UN General Assembly, at the most recent Arab Islamic Summit held in Riyadh. And so the need for a ceasefire and for real movement towards a two-state solution has become the core defining feature of where all of the Arab countries stand on the current conflict.